Hello, everybody. Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining today for the Better Business Bureau, my friend Tiffany Schultz. Tiffany, welcome back to the show. How are you doing today?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining me. And today we're going to be talking about avoid buying flood damaged cars. The hurricane season has definitely taken hold, or there's been quite a few places that have had some pretty significant flood damage across the U.S. And that has led to some damaged vehicles and or the reselling of these damaged cars. And we want to make sure that you avoid buying those today. And that's where our friend Tiffany gets in and breaks this down. So Tiffany, first and foremost, there's many reasons behind this. And given COVID, I mean, everybody's looking for cars too. And there's a shortage of cars. So it's like the perfect storm.
Scammers follow the news and they know what's going on in the country. And if you think about what happened a few months back, there were floodwaters that ravaged the south, ravaged the east, and those flood damaged cars could be showing up in car dealers and for secondhand sales right here in Madison area. We don't know that. But before you purchase a secondhand car, we want you to do the homework so you don't end up with one of these flood damaged vehicles.
Yeah, so let's try to figure this out on what you can do to prevent this. So first one is ask to see a title to the vehicle.
That's the most important part of purchasing a used vehicle. Ask to see that title. If that title came from a state that's flood damaged within the last few months, that's the number one red flag that it could be a flood damaged vehicle. Always a great thing to look at the title, see where it came from, and see who owned it prior.
Absolutely. Carefully check the dashboard, examine all the gauges to see if you notice something that's a little off.
First, you want to make sure that everything is working, but there could be some water damage to those gauges as well. Is there dried water sitting behind the lighted console? So really some things that maybe the seller is trying to pass off to you that you're not going to notice because you're so in love with the vehicle. Maybe the vehicle's been cleaned up and you have to have this vehicle or you need a vehicle and this one, this one's going to work, but maybe it's not going to work. So always check those gauges to make sure that they work and to also see if there is that water damage that has maybe been not cleaned up.
Sticking with that theme too, there's a lot of electronics to the vehicle now, and whether you're buying, whether we're looking for this damage or not, this is just common sense. You got to check out these electronics.
Unless you're a handy person who can fix up a vehicle and you know a lot about cars, you're buying that car typically to be able to drive it off the lot and use it right away. You don't have time to be fixing gauges or fixing anything that's wrong. You're expecting it to work correctly. So before you even make an offer on a vehicle, whether it's to a dealer or a private party, always make sure everything works.
And then looking through the interior of the car, what are some things you can look for as signs of damage from water?
Any type of water damage on the upholstery, mold, maybe the car has been recently shampooed and it smells brand new. That's really not a huge red flag, but it could be a red flag. Look around on the carpet too. Is the carpet loose? Does it look maybe like the carpet has been replaced? That could be a red flag that the vehicle was flood damaged as well.
Absolutely. As far as getting a vehicle history report, where can you find those reports at?
You can usually find those online. Sometimes they are free for minimal information. Other times you do have to pay. So that's something that sometimes the car dealer will offer you. Sometimes you can ask the seller to pay for it. Or if you're not having any luck getting that from the seller, you can purchase that yourself as well.
Gotcha. And remember to check under the hood. Again, if you're not a car, I'm certainly I don't know jack about how to repair a car completely. So definitely getting this checked out is super important.
A used vehicle may have been washed on the outside, but if you lift the hood, you may see mud, grime, grip in the engine compartment, in the wheel wells. If you see anything like that, it may have come from a flood damaged state. So really a great thing to do is look over the entire vehicle, not just the parts of the vehicle that you're falling in love with.
Finally, the classic, the old smell test. So I mean, if it smells moldy, I'm sure that's a red flag. But what are some other signs that it just doesn't pass the smell test?
If it doesn't pass the smell test, it's probably the big red flag that you shouldn't be buying the vehicle.
I love it. Finally, and really important, and again, across any time you're buying a vehicle, is find a reputable dealer. How can you sort out all these dealerships and make sure you're buying from the right person?
Head on over to bbb.org. You can check out free business profiles if you are purchasing from a secondhand seller. You really want to do your homework, look over the vehicle, even Google online the person's name, see if there's any complaints against them. You really, really need to do your homework when you are purchasing from that secondhand seller, and even when you're purchasing from a legitimate dealership.
And Tiffany, if people do come across this, why is it important to report it to you, to authorities, DATCP, to stop this fraudulent activity from happening?
Regardless if you've been a victim of a scam, we'd like you to report it to us at bbb.org/scam tracker. Your report helps us warn others of the scams that are taking place in the marketplace. And one of the beauties of that scam tracker tool is you can zoom right in to see what's happening here in the Madison area.
All right, Tiffany, thank you so much. Hopefully, people will think twice as they see that too good to be good deal. It's a Monday. That's all I'm saying. Thank you so much, Tiffany. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me.
Too good to be too good to be true. I still can't do it. Oh man. All right, we'll take a quick break. More to come. You're watching Talking Pittsburgh. Too good to be true.